Hello everybody, welcome back to Skincare 101, where we're taking it back to basics with each and every step of the skincare routine. And today we're going to be talking about exfoliation, exfoliators, exfoliating. And if you enjoy my videos, subscribe as well. I know a lot of people viewing aren't subscribed yet, but I've got more of these videos on the way, so make sure you turn on the notification bell as well. All the usual stuff that people always pester you to do. Thanks, I'd really appreciate it. So let's get straight into it. What is exfoliating? So exfoliating is basically removal of the dead skin cells that kind of like cluster up on your top layer of your skin. However, as we grow older, our skin cell turnover slows right down. And what does that mean? That means we get more and more dead skin. Dead skin cells will then sit on the top layer of our skin for even longer than they used to. This is what makes our skin look dull, uneven, shows up fine lines and wrinkles as well. So then obviously removing these dead skin cells by exfoliating makes your skin look a lot more even, a lot brighter, a lot more refreshed, and also reduces the appearance of fine lines. So why should you exfoliate? I already mentioned that it gets rid of fine lines and evens out your skin tone. It can also fade age spots, any kind of like leftover pigmentation you have from acne scars. It unclogs your pores, can help minimize pore size as well. Another thing it also does is maximizes the absorption of other products that you're going to use. So your serums, your essences, your moisturizers, which we will be talking about another time. And of course it is recommended that regular exfoliation is part of your basic skincare routine. So saying that though, when should you exfoliate? Again, all skin types are different, and what is good for me might be good, completely bad, for someone else, might work for someone else as well. But there is a general rule of thumb, and that kind of depends on the type of exfoliator you're using, your skin type, the thickness of your skin, and the sensitivity of your skin. There's so many factors, but the general rule is 3 times a week if you have oily skin, then like 2 to 1 times a week if you have dry to sensitive skin. If you have really sensitive skin, then once every week, I believe, once every 2 weeks, I believe. This is mainly for physical exfoliators, which we're going to talk about. But when it comes to chemical exfoliating, there are chemical exfoliators you can use every single day, but we'll come on to that again. But exfoliating always comes after cleansing and before toning, but you don't need to tone if you use the chemical exfoliator. And also as well, a face scrub isn't the same as a face wash. So you get these 2-in-1 products, but I feel it's really important to do each step separate so that you maximize the effects of each product. So for example, this is the example I always use as to why you should exfoliate before you cleanse and not use a 2-in-1 is, imagine a potato, right? Bear with me. Cover that in dirt, so like a natural potato covered in dirt from the ground. Now we're going to get our exfoliator and we're going to start scrubbing on that potato, and all we're doing is moving around that dirt. We're not really scrubbing well at the skin because there's all that dirt in the way, right? And then we're going to cleanse. And then all the dirt's gone, but we haven't really exfoliated very well. So let's get that potato again. It's filthy, it's dirty, we cleanse off all that dirt, and then we go in with the exfoliator. There's more chance of the exfoliator actually scrubbing away at the skin. And if you're using a 2-in-1, you're just kind of moving that dirt around, and you're not really getting a good scrub, and then you need to wash it off. It's just, I don't like them. Personal opinion. So moving on to the types of exfoliators you get. There are so many different exfoliators, from exfoliating toners to scrubs to tools to brushes to all these kind of things, but they always fall under 2 categories. So you're going to have your chemical exfoliator and your physical exfoliator. So let's start with chemical because it can be a little bit confusing, but there will be a few words that you're familiar with, such as BHA, AHA, and PHA. So these are light acids. So when you hear chemical exfoliators, people are like, oh, it's going to rip my skin off, I can't do that at home. They're extremely light. As I mentioned, some are even good for daily use. But what these do is kind of act as they unglue the dead skin cells from your skin. Those bonds holding it onto your skin, that's not letting it just remove itself. So yes, it's very gentle. It gives a good even spread of ungluing as well, of exfoliation. And even though you don't see your skin like peeling away, soon you're going to see like smoothness of your skin, the brightness of your skin, the tone of your skin completely evening out. And as I mentioned, they help to improve the texture of your skin, and they help get rid of fine lines as well. So all good things, but let's start off with AHA. So AHA stands for alpha hydroxy acids. And AHAs come from natural things like milk, sugar, what was the other one? Milk, sugar, fruit even as well. You may know it as glycolic acid, and lactic acid, which is what you get from milk. And obviously these are the kind of like 2 most popular ingredients you'll see in a lot of toners today, a lot of, even in moisturisers, a lot of products you're going to see these two. HAs actually work on the skin's surface, so they're really good for people with dry and sensitive skin, because they've also got natural moisturising factors within them as well. Next we move on to BHAs, which is beta hydroxy acid, which you might know better as salicylic acid. So this is a synthetic derivative that works on the skin's top layer as well as deeper into the skin. So this is why it's good for people with oily and congested skin. It helps to unclog pores, it helps to get rid of like little bumps and lumps that you have in your skin, and helps with blemishes as well. Again, BHA extremely popular in a lot of like anti-acne products, all that kind of stuff. Let's move on to PHA. Now PHA is relatively new. I only heard of it through one product in particular, which is a Glossier solution, and this stands for polyhydroxy acids. So as I mentioned, I've not heard much about it, so I got today's quote, and this is by Daniel Isaacs, who's the head of formulation and development at Medic 8. So this is how he describes a PHA. He says their difference lies in the molecular structure. So the molecules that make up PHAs are much larger in size, which means they don't actually penetrate the skin as deeply as traditional AHAs and BHAs. Instead, they work exclusively on the skin's surface without disturbing the delicate layers that lie beneath. So this ensures optimum skin renewal with minimal irritation. So they're especially beneficial for those who find their other acids too strong. So if you find that BHAs and AHAs are a bit too like stingy on the skin, you can use a PHA. Daniel Isaac also goes on to say that in clinical studies, PHAs have been proven to be really compatible and work really well with itchy skin, things like eczema, rosacea as well. So PHAs are very, very good if you want to do a chemical exfoliation, but you find that it can irritate your skin a bit too much. So let's move on to physical exfoliators. Now, physical exfoliators are like cosmetics that have a physical thing in them. So we're talking about tools and brushes. We're also talking about scrubs with apricot seeds in, sand, granules, ground down plant extract, even stone, things like that. And these remove dead skin from the very top layer of your skin. They also used to contain microbeads, but we all know they've been banned now, and they kind of weren't even beneficial as well. They're not the best exfoliating thing to have in a product. So yes, then you get exfoliating brushes, pads, gloves, all that, they all fall into a physical exfoliator. So anything you're physically scrubbing on your skin. My personal opinion about, I think you guys know this already, is I'm not keen on physical exfoliators. I just feel like they're like, I don't know, I just don't like the idea of scrubbing at my skin. But saying that, that's because I know they don't work for my skin. I have very sensitive skin in the corner of my nose, and if I go in there with a scrub, it's not good for me. So speaking of that, let's talk about what exfoliator is best for your skin type. I did mention earlier that all this depends on your the thickness of your skin, the oiliness, the sensitivity. There's a lot of different factors, so it is important to experiment. But in general, here's a guideline for you. So physical scrubs, we're talking St. Ives apricot scrub. Scrubs are actually good for all skin types, but it's important to use, kind of link your skin type to the size of the granule within the product. So for example, people with oily skin can use products with bigger granules in, so like apricot seed, whereas people with dry and sensitive skin should go for a smaller granule like sand, or even those really fine micro granules that you get like a Dermalogica exfoliator. Chemical exfoliators again can be used on all skin types, but AHA suit a certain skin type, BHA suit a certain skin type, and obviously PHA does. BHAs are perfect for people with oily to acne prone skin because of how it penetrates the skin, and also people prone to redness and rosacea as well. AHA are great for people with dry to normal skin because, as mentioned earlier as well, AHA can enhance the natural moisture of your skin. PHA again is good for all skin types, but it's a very, very light exfoliation. So if your skin can deal with a BHA or an AHA, opt for that instead. But if you want a good chemical exfoliation, but you have very sensitive skin, then go for a PHA. Now we have kind of like a weird one in the middle, and that's a peeling gel. A peeling gel is a product with an AHA or a BHA in that you put on your skin and then gently scrub away at. So what this does, it has cellulose particles in, or ingredients that kind of attach itself onto the dry skin, and you see that come off in like rolls of dead skin. As I said, they're good for all skin types because you have to only very lightly scrub at your skin, very, very lightly. It's not even a scrub, it's like a rub, and you see all that dead skin coming off. I also mentioned about tools that you can get as well. So there's something called a peeling pad or an exfoliating pad, which is like a pad you put on your hand and then rub on your skin. These are good again for all skin types, but again link it to your skin type. So for example, you can get a peeling pad soaked in BHA with like a big heavy peeling texture on it. That'd be great for people with oily skin. If you have sensitive skin, go for one with like an AHA in, with a smaller, tighter texture on the pad. So you're getting a not so heavy scrub, if that makes sense. You could also get ones, exfoliators that are in like cotton bud kind of shape. These again are just AHAs and BHAs, chemical exfoliators. So how do you use these? They're really, really simple. A physical exfoliator, you use like a general cleanser. So you, after cleansing, you apply the physical exfoliator to dampen skin, gently massage into the skin and then wash away. If you're using a scrubbing tool like a Clarisonic, a spinning brush, a sponge, anything like that, you use this in conjunction with your cleanser. So put on your cleanser, foam your cleanser on your face, and then gently rub with the tool that you're exfoliating with, and then wash that away. Then the same with a chemical exfoliator. These are very, very easy to use, mess-free, hassle-free, my favorite way of exfoliating. You basically soak a cotton pad in a chemical exfoliator, then gently again rub that on your skin, being sure to avoid the eye area because you don't want to get that in your eyes. I've done that, it's painful. Not nice. And with the majority of these chemical exfoliators, there's no need to wipe it off as well. You just leave that nice and settled onto your skin. I think we covered everything. I thought that was going to be longer. Another thing I should mention as well is as your skin starts to mature, chemical exfoliators are much better for you. The less irritation, the better. The more chance of going deeper into your skin and minimizing fine lines and wrinkles, the better. Obviously, you know, if that's a worry for you. If not, scrub away. But yeah, my personal opinion, I would always use a chemical over a physical exfoliator, and I really wish BHA was a popular ingredient when I was a teenager. You know, with my skin troubles, I really feel like it would have benefited me so much, especially with like little bumps and lumps on my skin. Every so often I might use a physical one, but I kind of like, I always feel bad for my skin after using a physical scrub. So yeah, be good to your skin. I would use a chemical exfoliator. As always, all of my favorite products, I never mention a particular brand really in these, but all my favorite products for each category will be in the description box down below with links so you can buy them for yourself. But again, experiment with different products, guys. It may cost you a little bit of money, but it's always good to work out what works for you, in particular for yourself. So in the next Skincare 101 video, we'll be talking about what we're talking about, essences and serums as the next step. They're not the same thing, but they kind of are. But serums are better. We'll talk about that next time. That is it from me now, guys. I will see you next time.